When people most hear about the word karma, they think of a very, very simple rule. Do good things and good things will happen to you. Do bad things and bad things will come back to you. Now, it does seem neat and fair, but if you look closely at life, it does not always feel that simple. Good people suffer. People who hurt others sometimes seem to succeed. And many carry a heavy feeling and a question. Maybe, maybe I'm being punished for something I did in the past. This way of thinking turns karma into kind of a cosmic tennis court. You imagine a universe that is always judging you. You imagine a record book of all your actions that you can never escape. When you believe in this deeply, my friends, it can feel like your life is already decided. You might think, I'm like this because of my past. My patterns are my fate. I can't really change. This, my friends, this is why many people feel stuck in their lives. They feel trapped inside their old stories about themselves. They feel as if their life is a long sentence that they are serving. But what if I told you? What if this is not what karma really means? What if karma is not punishment at all? What if karma is simply a way of saying your inner patterns shape how you see and respond to life right now? Now, trust me, that is a very different idea. And it is much more empowering as well. So, Trika Tantra has a very, very fresh view of karma. In Trika Tantra's perspective, we have a very, very interesting way to look at karma. It does not focus on only actions, it looks at deeper, at what your actions leave behind inside of you. Tantra uses the word vasana and yoga uses the word samskara. Now, a vasana is a subtle impression that forms in your mind and your heart. Think of it like a small groove or a track inside of your inner mind. Here is what and how these things work on a simple term. You have an experience, that experience creates a feeling and a memory. That memory and feeling leave a trace inside of you. And if similar experiences repeat again and again, the trace becomes a pattern. That pattern is known as vasana. Now, this vasana is not good or bad by itself. It's simply a tendency, a habit like inclination. It pulls you in a certain direction without you fully noticing it. Now imagine this. As a child, you were often criticized or ignored. Over time, you form an inner pattern that I am not good enough. Now, as an adult, when someone gives you feedback, you feel attacked. Even if they mean well, your inner pattern reacts with hurt and defensiveness, of course. Did the universe punish you? No. You're not being paid back for something. You're simply seeing world through an old inner impression or the vasana. This is karma in the tantric sense. Not a law of reward and punishment, but a web of impressions and patterns that shape how you see and react to the world. Here's the good news though. Patterns can change. Grooves can be softened. New impressions can be formed. Karma, my friends, understood in this way is not a cage. It is simply the momentum of your past conditioning. And conditioning, well, samskara or conditioning can be transformed. Now, let's understand why destiny feels fixed. How patterns create the illusion of fate as well. Let's look at something how many people feel. All of this is predestined. My life keeps repeating in the same story again and again. But here you might notice it is you who keeps choosing similar patterns. It is you who keeps ending up in the same type of experience. It is you who keeps reacting the same way in conflicts. After a while, you may think, maybe this is just my destiny. From the tantric point of view, what is really happening is this: your vasanas are running the show. Your conditioning, your samskaras are running the show. Your old impressions shape your expectations and choices. Your mind looks for what matches those patterns. You keep walking along the same inner grooves of the mind. Now, it feels like destiny, but it actually is a habit on a very, very deep level. Tantra says something very, very important here. Destiny is not a force outside of you controlling your life. Destiny is the effect of your inner patterns interacting with the world outside. In other words, your life is not written by a god with a pen in the sky, my friends. Your life is mostly written by what you believe, expect, and repeat inside of your own selves. Now, this may sound like a bit uncomfortable at first. I know this. But it is also extremely empowering. Because if destiny is not an outside force, if it is emerging from inside of us, then you surely have a way to work with it, my friends. The key step here is awareness. When you start to see, oh, this is a pattern. Oh, I have reacted this way many times before. Oh, this feeling is old. It is not just about this moment. Then something new becomes possible. You can choose. You may not be able to stop the first reaction right away, but surely you may be able to notice this after this video. And that noticing, my friends, gives you a tiny bit of space. Inside that space, a new response can slowly grow. That small space is where real freedom actually begins. Tantra goes even deeper and further. It does not only talk about patterns, it also talks about who you really are beneath all these patterns. In Shaivite teachings or Trikatantra's teachings, your true nature, your reality is known as pure consciousness or Shiva. Here, in tantric sense, Shiva does not mean a god sitting far away in the sky. It means pure consciousness, pure awareness. Now, you can test this for yourself in a very simple way. Right now, take a step back. You can notice your thoughts, isn't it? You can notice your feelings, isn't it? You can notice your body and its sensations, isn't it? And if you can notice them, You cannot be only those things. There is something in you which is inside of you very, very deeply that is aware of this thought, of these thoughts, of these feelings, of these body sensations. That, my friends, is simple awareness. That simple awareness is present before a thought appears. It remains there while the thought is there. This awareness is still there after the thought goes away as well. My friends, thoughts come and go, emotions come and go. Even your sense of me changes over time. But the knowing of experience, the awareness itself, that is what is constant, unchanged, remains. Tantra calls this pure awareness Shiva. You could also just call it consciousness or simple presence as well. There is always I before thought occurs. There is always I before a feeling occurs. There is always I before any bodily sensation occurs as well. That I is this pure consciousness. We know and recognize this in Trika Tantra as a word known as aham. I am. Here's the idea. Your patterns, your vasanas, your conditioning or samskaras are like clouds. Your true nature, my friends, is the consciousness itself. It's like the sky. Clouds change all the time, but the sky is open and spacious, no matter what passes through it. When you forget this, say to yourself, or you say to yourself, I am my anger. I am my fear. I am my guilt. I am angry. I am fearful. I am guilty. And when you remember your true nature, you can say, anger arises inside of me. Fear is arising inside of me. Guilt is arising inside of me. See the difference? In the first, you are the pattern. In the second, you are observing the pattern. Now, the moment you begin to observe like this, even very little, little by little, you're already standing as pure consciousness, my friends, as Shiva himself within you. From this place, you do not have to fight your patterns. You do not have to hate your past. You do not have to feel cursed by your destiny. You will simply see, become aware and see. There is a pattern here. It is not who I am. This pattern is not who I am. It is just something moving through my awareness. My friends, this awareness, this seeing is very, very gentle but very, very powerful. Over time, it loosens the hold of your conditioning, of your samskaras and your patterns or your vasanas. They no longer feel like rigid fate. They feel more like old habits that can soften and then diminish slowly and steadily. Now, let's bring this into our daily life. Let's make it very practical and simple. No, you don't need complex rituals. You don't need to know Sanskrit. You can start with small, clear steps. Notice your patterns. Begin by gently watching your reactions in your daily life. When do I get most triggered? When do I shut down? When do I feel small? When do I feel scared? And when do I feel unworthy? You might say to yourself, this is a pattern. This feeling is familiar. This is an old groove playing again. You just have to observe. You don't have to change anything. You just have to observe it. Nothing has to be changed immediately. Just becoming aware is already a big step being taken. Second thing, what you do is to add a small pause. When you feel a strong reaction from yourself, take one slow breath in, exhale slowly, and then pause. In that pause, ask yourself, what am I believing right now? Is this belief coming from the present or from my past? For example, someone criticizes you. Your mind says, I am worthless. You pause and think, wait, that's an old story. It is not the only truth here. The pause does not erase the emotion, but it stops you from automatically acting out in that old pattern. You give it a break, a pause. That is how new karma or new impressions begin to form inside of you. Now, a few times a day, try this very simple practice. Close your eyes for a moment, if it's safe to do so, of course, and notice whatever is present inside of you: thoughts, feelings, sensations, and then ask silently, what is aware of all this? You don't need a mental answer. Just feel the sense of being aware. Rest there for a few breaths. Now, another way, you can also say to yourself, I am the sky, not this cloud. Thoughts and feelings move inside of me, but they are not all of me. This is a very simple way of touching your own Shiva nature, as we call it. Over time, it begins to feel more and more natural. You don't need to change your whole life at once. Just start with small, one new choice at a time. For an example, if your pattern is to avoid difficult conversations, if you notice this pattern, feel the fear inside, and still choose to speak gently and honestly once, or your pattern is to criticize yourself after every mistake, you just notice this habit. And once today, you choose to say, just once, I made a mistake and that's okay. I can learn from it. Each new choice creates a new impression. Each new choice, my friends, creates a new impression or samskara inside of you. Each new impression is a small shift in your karma. Over time, these small, tiny little shifts add up. When you see your patterns, no, it is easy to feel ashamed. You might think, oh, why did I act like this? Why am I still like this? But remember, every pattern was created for a reason. At some point, it was your mind's way of trying to protect you. Maybe not in a wise way, but in the only way it knew, na? So instead of hating your patterns, try this. Thank them for trying to protect you. Let these patterns know that you are learning a new way now. My friends, gentleness, not force, gentleness makes change much easier than self attack, self pity, self doubt, self judgment. Now, let's bring everything together in a very, very simple way. Try to understand that karma is not cosmic punishment, it is the momentum of your inner patterns. Vasanas or your samskaras are impressions. Repeated experiences leave grooves in your mind and in your heart and in the body. These grooves shape your destiny, not as a fixed plan from outside, but as repeated ways of seeing, feeling, choosing, and experiencing for that matter. And these patterns, no, is not you. Your true nature is consciousness and the awareness it generates. Open, spacious, and always present. Awareness, my friends, creates freedom. When you see a pattern, you are no longer completely trapped inside it. Small conscious choices change karma. Every time you respond from awareness instead of an old habit, you create a new samskara, a new impression, a new conditioning. Your life is not a punishment. Your life is like a canvas, friends. Karma is not a chain around your neck. It is more like the current of a river you have began flowing in. Once you see the current, you can learn to steer through the current. Maybe not all at once, maybe not, but slowly, gently, bravely. You do not have to become perfect. You do not have to erase all the patterns. You only need to notice, become aware, and then pause. And then remember your deeper nature as pure consciousness, as your Shiva nature. Choose even a little from that deeper place. In that simple process, my friends, repeated many times, a new kind of destiny starts to appear. Not given to you from outside, but written from within. And that, my friends, is the heart of the tantric view of karma. You are not here to serve your past. You are here to wake up to what you truly are. And from that awakened place, that aware place, to create. Your future, my friends, is not yet written. It begins in this moment, with this breath, with this small awareness. And that is enough to start. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shri Matre Namah. Enough for today.